Me okay? Okay, so let me pull up the chat box here. Let me see if I can see you guys. Okay, happy Sunday. Welcome in, Pamlika. That's interesting. I love that. Okay. Okay, you guys. So welcome in. Happy Sunday evening. Welcome to my very first Fasting for Freedom program information session. I have been getting so many questions about fasting. So I created my Fasting for Freedom guide for free so that you guys can get the information. I took everybody's questions because I literally have thousands. And I took everybody's questions and I kind of put them in a guide as a resource for you. All right, so put yes in the comment if you did get that fasting guide in the chat box. If you did, I just want to make sure that you guys got it. If not, if you stick around to the end, I'll give you the email address you can email and we'll make sure that we get you that fasting guide. Okay, so hi everyone. All right, so if you are here, it's more than likely because you are trying to get on the other side of where you are right now, and you may believe that the food that you're eating got something to do with it and it's holding you up. And if that's the case, you are absolutely correct. And I'm excited about diving into some things today about fasting that you probably didn't even know. It'll probably blow your mind. Okay, so together we're going to explore how fasting can be a powerful tool to transform your health, reset your habits, give you back control of your body, and reconnect you with your body's natural rhythm. So whether you're a beginner or you've tried it before, there's always something new to learn and ways to tailor this practice to fit your lifestyle. It doesn't have to fit into one particular box. So get ready to uncover the truths about fasting. We're going to dispel some common myths, release the fears behind fasting, and leave here with practical insights that can help you take your next step towards a healthier, more vibrant you. Okay, who doesn't want that? So before we get started, where are you tuning in from? So I am here in Bali, Indonesia. So welcome Instagram. So I'm actually doing a Zoom call right now. So I'm in Bali, Indonesia. It's morning time here. And so it's about 8:07 a.m. So Eastern time, I'm like 12 hours ahead of Eastern time. And Central time, like 13 hours. So where are you all tuning in from? Like what city are you at? I like to know who I'm talking to. Okay, where's the chat? Hold on a second. Let me pull the chat up here. Cannot wait to meet you next week. Oh, you're going to be in Canada? I'm excited. I got to do a lot of packing. This will be my first time coming to America within the last year. So I've been in Bali, Indonesia for a year. So I'm interested to know how I'm going to feel. Am I going to be like, I'm ready to go back? Or am I going to be like, I miss America? I seriously doubt that, but we'll see. Okay, so Texas, Charlotte, Instagram. We got Sacramento, California. So yeah, I wanted to kind of get an idea of where some of you guys were from. Who's DJ Judy? Where are you guys from? Miami. Shout out Miami. My son is on here. What's up, Reese Production? So you know I'm about to give a presentation on what we do best over here. I even teach my son how to fast. He's learned how to fast as well. So Reese Productions, you guys can go ahead and follow him. So Charlotte. Okay. All right, cool. So I want to know what brought you here today. All right. So when most people think about fasting, the world has been taught that when we refrain from eating, we starve to death. Okay. So of course fasting would be scary. All right. So I want to know the brave souls that saw the word fasting and said, let me see what she's talking about, or let me sign up for this information session. So put in the chat or put in the comments if you are here because you just have a desire to improve your health, you're trying to lose weight, you want mental clarity, you have a curiosity about fasting, just want to learn more, you're wanting more energy and you want it to be more focused, you're trying to seek or break unhealthy habits, something we're all trying to do, or you're trying to just explore some spiritual growth. You believe like that you may have heard, if you haven't done it before, that you can have a better spiritual connection when you fast. I'm going to explain all of these things, but I just kind of want to get an idea of why are you here? D. Judy said all the above. Instagram, why are you here? Like, you see the word fasting and it's like, okay, what is it about it that's drawing you to that word? Okay. Improve my health. I'm currently fasting, but I want to know the correlation between hair and fasting. Okay. I love that. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. So let's talk a little bit about me first. Because I want y'all to know that I am a trusted source for the embodiment of this process or practice. So I'm a 20-year entrepreneur and I'm a single mother of 3. I was a cosmetologist for, I don't know, maybe 2008, 2020 is when I retired. So about 12 or 13 years, I practiced behind the chair as a hairstylist or a cosmetologist. And I became a trichologist in 2018. Most people know me as the Hair Growth Capital of the World CEO. So I've helped thousands of women across the world grow their hair to unimaginable lengths. We're actually launching my method in Montreal, Canada in less than 2 weeks. So I'll be traveling from Bali to Montreal, Canada to help get those ladies started. I'm a former salon owner and hair loss clinic owner. So I've owned a salon for 10 years and my hair loss clinic for 5 years. So both of those I closed those down back in 2023. And I'm a holistic health advocate and coach or practitioner. So a lot of the people wonder why. Hey, Jossie, you supposed to be on this, Joss Nicole. I sent you an email because when you guys signed up, it didn't connect to the Zoom. So it was a few of you guys that I had to send an email to. So I kind of sent a customized email to you guys. So, but you can stay on here too. So I'm a holistic health practitioner, advocate, and coach. So oftentimes, like, people wonder how I've helped so many women grow their hair longer than it's ever been before, like to unimaginable lengths, like lengths that you didn't even think was possible. It's because I've tied in this holistic approach to high functioning hair and scalp. So there's a lot of things that I know about the hair and the scalp that a lot of people don't know. And we'll talk about some of those benefits soon, okay? But when you say holistic, so holistic health refers to an approach to healthcare that considers the whole person and includes the physical, the mental, the emotional, social, and spiritual well-being. It emphasizes the interconnectedness of these aspects and aims to restore balance and harmony within the individual, okay? So holistic health practitioners believe that treating the symptoms of disease without addressing the underlying cause can lead to ongoing health problems. So we focus on identifying and addressing the root cause of illnesses. However, in this case, I'm more focused on eliminating the root cause, and fasting is one of those practices that does that. All right, so a lot of times when people hear holistic, they have no idea what that means. They feel like, oh, it just means health. No, it does not just mean health. Okay, most people only look at life from a physical point of view. No, holistic practitioners, coaches, advocates have a more broad, more expansive perception or perspective or observation of life, tying in more than just the physical, okay? So, like I said, in my hair growth business, is one of the reasons why I helped so many women, because I was able to tie the holistic aspect into high functioning hair and scalp, okay? So my story is I almost died. I literally almost died, and I do not know a lot of people that have almost died. All right. I was a workaholic, single mother of 2 at the time. I was overeating, undereating with no attention. I was junk eating fast food because I was so busy. So I was just looking for convenience. I can remember having 20 migraines a month. And if you know anything about migraines is not like no little headache. Okay, migraines will shut your whole life down, your whole body down. You have to shut everything down. You have to go into the dark. You have to be still. You have to close your eyes. Because I try not to take a lot of medicine, these are the things that I have to do. I have to do diaphragmatic, down-regulating breath work. I have to calm my heart, calm my chatter, all the stuff that I'm thinking about. Like it's a whole system to trying to get rid of a migraine. It's not fun, okay? So I used to have serious back and shoulder issues. So I had pain every single day. Like some days I couldn't even walk. Okay. So I worked 16-hour days, 6 days a week in the salon. Literally. I had issues with my digestive system. So I can remember there was a point in time, it was a long, over 10, 11 years ago, where I would go 2 whole weeks without releasing. That is so dangerous. Okay. So if you're not aware, you're supposed to be releasing every single day. All right. Multiple times a day. All right. So I wasn't working out that much because I really didn't have time. And then I was in too much pain to work out as well. So my system was really just clogged with all types of toxins, chemicals, drugs that were stuck in my body. I was unhappy. I was emotionally unregulated, depressed. I had anxiety, burnout. I was out of emotional and physical control. So what did I do? And this is something that I had never shared with the public. I don't believe I have, but back in the day, 2000, 14, 13, 12, maybe, I had to smoke to get through the day, literally. That, and I ate my way, or I didn't eat, but like I said, if I didn't eat, there was no intention. It was just going without eating, right? So, but when I almost died in 2014, I had 3 illnesses at one time. Like something inside of me, it just woke up. I completely transformed. It wasn't just because of the horrific scare of dying. I had tonsillitis, pneumonia, and flu all at the same time. Like I had a 105 fever for 12 days straight that would not break. It was very, very scary. Like very scary. I was hospitalized for 3 whole months. Like it took a very long time for me to heal from that process because I was neglecting and ignoring my body, and my body gave up on me. Okay. So during that time, I couldn't eat. Like I went so long I can't even remember how long I went without eating, but I can remember losing 30, 45 pounds. Right. So during that time, I was basically fasting on accident. And, because I couldn't eat, and looking back, I see how this like brand new awakening kind of happened. I feel like that actually helped supported me as well. So there are many things that changed in my life from that experience, the way I ate, how I handled stress, just to name a few. But fasting was one thing that I felt that if I conquered that intentionally, that it would help everything else. Like life is already hard. And for me as a system focused individual who is always trying to find a way to be effective, but for it not to be so hard, I'm always trying to figure out what is that one thing that I can do that if I focus on that one thing, it kind of helps everything else, because we're focusing on too many things and a lot of things are kind of falling to the wayside. And sometimes those are things that matter to us. Okay. So you are not listening to someone who is just sitting up here talking about fasting for fun. Okay. No, I embody this lifestyle. All right. So I've been fasting for like 10 years now. So I've done 1 7-day dry fast with no water or food. I did a 7-day water fast 2 times. I did a 5-day water fast 5 times. I've done way more 3-day water fasts. I've done that 9 times, and I've done 4 organic and veggie jute fasts. And then I do daily intermittent fasting like 50 times out of the year. Like half of the year, I'm probably eating only 1 meal and maybe like a juice or a smoothie or something like that. So I've been free from the bondage of food a long time ago, and it truly saved my life. So I've helped I've probably put in about close to 200 hours into reading and studying fasting as well. So I've studied all different types of doctors, all different types of healers. I've read so many books. And if you guys, want any resources for that, I can give you that as well. So I've helped 22 individuals successfully complete a fast just naturally, like all the people around me, they know, if you know me and if you've been around me, I'm a faster. I fast often too. And I'm usually, I don't just kind of wake up and say, oh, I'm gonna do a fast. I'm trained, I've mastered listening to my body. So oftentimes my body will tell me it's time to stop. Like it's done. All right. We need a break. All right. So I've helped 22 individuals successfully complete a fast, and it was very fulfilling. And at that point, I started to think, I wonder if I can do this on a bigger scale, right? But my ultimate goal is really to help 22 million people incorporate fasting into their lifestyle. So why? Now here we go. We're about to get into the good stuff. So if you are here now, this is what you need to know. All right. The reason why I want to help 22 million, and it's a specific number, 22 million people learn how to fast and really transform their life from fasting, is because 70% of America is sick. 70% of America is sick. So 210 million people out of 300 million Americans are sick. Okay. So the three main obstruction causes for most illnesses is going to be either three things: inflammation, hormones, or digestive issues. Okay. So stress, trauma, and unresolved emotional blocks lead to chronic inflammation, hormonal imbalance, and overall disease risk. And then fasting lowers your cortisol. So cortisol is a stress hormone. So fasting lowers your cortisol. It improves your insulin sensitivities. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. And then it'll give you a whole body reset from constant digestive issues, which directly reduce disease risk. Okay. But yet your doctors are not throwing this out as a solution. And I wonder why. So here is an infographic to show you how this works. So I know Instagram, I know you guys are just joining me now. You can still comment fast if you want to get the fasting guide, but you won't be able to see the presentation. But I'm sure I'll do it in the future. But we'll see how this goes. But okay, so this is how this works. First, emotional stress triggers hormonal dysfunction. Okay, which then promotes cravings that ends up causing disease. Okay, so my goal is to help you heal all of it by eliminating all of it and helping you get better control. And I know it can be done because I'm a living testament. And I have walked quite a few people, like I expressed earlier, 22, through this process as well. And none of those people are controlled by food and the drugs in it anymore. Okay, like life totally changed. I don't even recognize them from what I remember about them. Okay. So if you're wondering, why am I not implementing, or like, what is my fasting for freedom mission? Like, why this? Okay. It's because literally just pure point blank and period. I want to help end suffering, period. Not because I only want to, but because I know that I can. And I'm here on earth for that reason. So it's something that I know that is a part of my soul assignment. Okay. I want you to be at peace. I want you to have happiness, joyfulness, and to experience abundant amount of love in your life. Why not? That's why we're here. Why are we not experiencing those things? Okay. It's got to be something in the way, right? I think we're focused on the wrong things. What is in the way of you having the peace that you desire, the happiness, the joy, the abundance, the prosperity, the love? Like, something is in the way. What if it's food? Okay. I feel like that's something you deserve. And I want you to have the power to create a life that you love through emotional control and regulation, clarity, energy, and purpose. Okay. That's why I finally released this Fasting for Freedom guide and this program. All right. So if you are here right now, it is not by mistake, because we are about to get into the good stuff now. Okay. So my Fasting for Freedom, it's a tool for liberation. Okay. It's not simply like a dietary choice or something you just do at church and have no clue what's happening. It's not about abstaining from food. It's a sacred pause that helps you observe your cravings, confront emotional patterns, and restore your body's natural rhythm. Most of us have no control over our own bodies. You will walk around every day with your feet on this earth and is not in control of your body. There's nothing like feeling in control of your body, your heart, and your decision making. It's when we are out of control that causes the chaos, depression, anxiety, and I can keep going on and on. Okay. So here's the problem. Here's the problem a lot of us do not want to admit. We are addicts. We are addicted to food. And some of you may think it's a bit dramatic, and I'm here to tell you it's not dramatic at all. And I'm going to prove it to you. And I'm going to show you why. Okay, we are in a relationship with food, but for many of us, that relationship has become very unhealthy, compulsive, and out of control. We are addicted to food without even realizing it. Caught in cycles of cravings, guilt, and temporary relief. So today I want to talk to you about why this happens and how we can break free from it, because that's the ultimate goal. We already have to fight for freedom on a day-to-day, but what if it's the food that's in the way? And if we can manage it properly, we would experience the freedom we are also desperately looking for. So it's definitely worth you being on my Zoom call here or on my Instagram live right now. Okay, so I'm hoping that you guys, that something really clicks. Oh my gosh, I already did this. I'm sorry, you guys. I thought I already did this. Hold on one second. Hold on. Hold on, you guys. I wanted to make sure that this did not cut out on everybody. Hey, beautiful. So when I'm doing the presentation, I can't see you guys' faces. I did this already. Why is this doing this? Hold on. I'm sorry. I didn't want this to cut out on anybody. I'm sorry, you guys. I had to take a quick pause because I didn't want this. Hi, D. Judy. Look at you, beautiful. I couldn't see you guys' faces when I'm doing the presentation. So now that I had kind of stopped sharing the screen really quick, I can see you guys. Sit tight, you guys. Don't you go anywhere. I just wanted to make sure this did not cut out on everybody. I'm on Zoom and I have the... It didn't do it. I wonder why they didn't do it. Hold on one second. Let me do this. Okay, so if you just joining me, we're talking about fasting. So I'm just about to get in. Yeah, yes, now. Okay, perfect. We in there. Okay, let me share my screen. I thought I already did that, but okay. So let me share my screen. Share my screen back here. Let me pull this up. No. Share screen. Ooh, no. Pushing screen share. Okay, here we go. We're back. Okay. So if you stuck around, we're about to get started now. Okay, so let's start with this. All right, so what is food addiction? Food addiction is a complex behavior pattern in which a person experiences an overwhelming compulsion to eat despite negative consequences. Okay, it's not just about a lack of willpower. It's about how your brain and body is wired to seek food for comfort, pleasure, or relief, sometimes in ways that hijack our natural hunger. So that's where the Pavlovian reflexes come in at. Does anybody know what Pavlovian reflexes mean? Let me know if you know. Yay or nay? Yay or nay? Do you know what Pavlovian reflexes mean? So that means I know. So that means that you are conditioned to eat a certain way. It's a condition. You were taught. You were brainwashed to do it this way as opposed to listening to your own body. So you were disempowered from listening to your own body to meet the needs of this world or this society, right? Because we all know it's about money, all right? So you don't listen to your body. So people tell you you should eat breakfast, lunch, dinner. You should have a snack in between here, snack in between there, and your body may not even be hungry. So we're all out here just overeating when the body is not even hungry. That's what Pavlovian reflexes mean, okay? So the ultimate goal is to tune into your body so well that you can actually hear what your body is saying. And that's the biggest problem that we have. Okay, so now that we know what food addiction is, because earlier I claimed that we are food addicts and that some people may believe that it's dramatic, and it's not. And I'm about to prove it to you. All right, so we know what food addiction is now. Okay, so we are addicted to food. It's 3 reasons why: biological wiring, emotional triggers. Well, 4 reasons: cultural influences, and convenience. So our brain rewards us with dopamine every time we eat something tasty. Okay, so dopamine is I'm sure you guys heard of dopamine. It's a happy hormone that our brain releases. So this is an evolutionary mechanism designed to ensure that we eat for survival. All right. So if we did not have this release of this hormone to say, "Ooh, food is good," then we'd just all be out here just starving to death in real life. All right. So we needed something to say, "Hey, you need to eat." We needed some type of wiring or communication channel or vessel to let us know, okay, we need to eat food. We need food to survive. However, when we consume processed or sugary foods, they release large amounts of dopamine, creating a cycle of craving and reward. So over time, we become conditioned to seek out those feel-good foods, even when we're not hungry, which ties into to the Pavlovian reflexes that I just talked about. Okay, so emotional triggers is the second reason why we're addicted to food. So food often becomes our coping mechanism. All right. So whether we're stressed, anxious, or even bored, food offers temporary relief and distraction. So, but this relief is fleeting, and the cycle of emotional eating becomes a crutch that prevents us from addressing the underlying emotional issues. So how many of you all feel like you turn to food when you are feeling angry or feeling sad or bored or lonely or depressed or anxious? Like, how many of you guys feel like, okay, I turn to, yes, I'm definitely, who can admit that I'm definitely an emotional eater? I'm definitely an emotional eater. I used to be an emotional eater. Okay. It's very, very dangerous. Very dangerous. And I'm gonna tell you, let's keep on talking. Okay. So, our culture celebrates. So now we're talking about the third reason, which is, hello, Colorado Springs. The third reason is cultural influences. Okay. So get this. So our culture celebrates food often in excessive or unhealthy ways. Social gatherings, celebrations, even stress relieving habits are all tied to eating, right? So this creates an environment where overconsumption is normalized, making it harder to break free from it. All right. And then fast food is the fourth one. Just the convenience of it, right? So most of us don't even have time to plan or prepare a meal. So we're out here, we're just winging it. So fast food is our savior, okay? But it's really not, because this is actually killing us slowly. So it comes a time where we have to ask ourselves the question, what's more important? Is our health more important, or is our convenience more important? So I decided my health wasn't the most important a long time ago, all right? When I was on that deathbed, I was no longer playing with my health. So my goal is that you guys don't have to get to that point before you start realizing, okay, I need to do something different. Okay. So I hope you all are ready for this info, because I'm not here to sugarcoat anything to make it sound good, because there's nothing about this except for the fact that you are here now learning how to make good out of it. That, like, this is not a game. Like, this is your life, and this is your quality of life. Okay. And there are some things you just cannot control, like most of the food. Like, you can't control what people put in the food. All right. But there are some things that you can control, like incorporating fasting into your lifestyle to release yourself from the harshness of what the food is doing. And of course, to make better food choices after that. All right. So, okay. So we know what food addiction is. We know what's causing the addiction. Okay. Now let's talk about the cycle of addiction. So this is how this works. You get triggered, okay? Stress, boredom, loneliness, anxiety or habit. Somebody break up with you. You're not making enough money. You lose your job. Your kids getting on your nerve. Husband getting on your nerves. Whatever the case may be. So you get triggered some type of way. And that fuels this craving, all right? Which is a desire to numb the feeling or escape the discomfort. Okay. That turns into action. So there you go, reaching for food because you're uncomfortable. And oftentimes it's junk food because junk food give you the high. It gives you, now I warned you that things may not sound good. It may be hard to accept, but junk food gives you a high. That's what it does. Because it's junk food, the vegetables, the smoothie, all of that, that's not going to release all those dopamines like that. Especially when you're addicted to food. So the junk food is what's going to release tremendous amount of dopamine. All right. So then that's going to temporarily give you some relief. All right. You're going to feel better. Yes, absolutely. Satisfaction and pleasure from eating. That's where the relief come in. Go ahead and share this. If you know somebody that can benefit, that who you know needs to heal, who you know may be sick, who you know just wants better for their lives, go ahead and share it, okay? Because this is stuff that people are not talking about. All right, so it's going to give you temporary relief. Then guess what comes after that? Guilt or shame. Guilt or shame, okay? So the realization that, damn, I just overate. And that shouldn't have been the solution. I should have been in the gym somewhere. I should have went for a walk. I should have just breathed. I should have wrote something. Like, dad, why did I go for the ice cream? Like, why did I go for the cookies? Why did I just eat that much like that? My stomach hurt. Oh, I'm sick. I don't want to eat no more food no more. Who can relate? Oh, why did I just do this to myself? And then guess what? It repeats your entire life. This is what happens your entire life, and you are not in control at all. Who's guilty of this? Put in the comments or put in the chat box me if this sounds familiar. You get triggered, you get a craving, you act on the craving by grabbing some fast food or some junk food or some processed food, some cookies, some ice cream, some cake. Okay, that give you a temporary relief. You feeling real good while you're eating it, but when you're done, you have guilt or you have shame. Okay, and then it repeats itself. Me. Yes, I know, because it used to be me also. Okay, so you want to know who else goes through this? Now here we go. I hope y'all ready. You want to know who else goes through this cycle? Someone that's on crack. Someone that's on heroin, alcohol. Sorry, not sorry, but these are facts. The brain does not know the difference at all. And I'm about to show who is ever on the information session on the Zoom. I'm about to show you exactly. So Instagram, if you here with me, you can listen in, but you can't really see what I'm doing. Okay. So I'm about to show you that the brain does not know the difference. All right. So the frontal lobe, this particular part of your brain, the prefrontal cortex, is responsible for decision making, impulse control, long-term planning, rational thinking, evaluating consequences. Okay? Y'all follow me? Okay, so when it's working well, it helps you pause before acting or acting on a craving or having an impulsive reaction. Okay? That's what this is right here, the frontal lobe. And so what I'm trying to show you now, if you're just now joining me, is that the frontal brain does not know the difference between the drugs and the chemicals in your food and heroin and crack and alcohol. There is no difference. No difference. Okay? So I just told you what this area of the brain controls. All right? So now we're about to get into the sauce now. Okay? So when the prefrontal cortex is not working well, several things happen. One, you have poor impulse control. You may find it harder to resist cravings or temptations, leading to impulsive decisions like overeating, substance abuse, and many of the decisions that we make in life that we end up being in the hot seat for. Okay. 2, reduce self-awareness. It reduces your self-awareness. So you are way less aware of long-term consequences of your actions, making choices that are not aligned with your goals and your values. This is what the drugs and the chemicals in your food, this is what's happening. This is what we're all trying to figure out why we're out of alignment, why we unhappy, why we depressed, why we sad, why things not going right, why I feel stuck, why I feel blocked, why no matter what I do. Is it the food? Let's see. Okay, so it reduces your self-awareness. 3, it enhances emotional reactivity. Okay, so emotional responses become way more intense and less regulated, increasing the likelihood of reacting impulsively or out of frustration or anger, rage. Anytime I see somebody with anger, rage that's extremely irritable, I know it's the food. I immediately know it's the food. I can immediately predict what you eat oftentimes. Okay. So for difficulty with planning, it becomes harder to set goals, to delay gratification, stick to a plan, which can undermine efforts towards healthier habits or a more prosperous life. Okay. 5, it increases vulnerability to addiction. So because the brain reward system becomes more dominant when self-control drops, you're more prone to addictive behaviors, whether related to food, substances, or, like I said, any other compulsive habits. So in essence, when the prefrontal cortex, your frontal lobe, is compromised, the braking system that keeps impulses in check weakens, making it much easier to give in to immediate gratification at the expense of long-term well-being or relationships. Just want to throw that out there. So I'm not even trying to be funny. I have a level of distrust of most people because of this, but I don't usually judge or respond to the results from it, if that makes sense. Okay. So when you become a master at fasting, you kind of see life and people a lot different. All right. And it's something that you may got, if you stick with me, you may find out. Okay. I don't know. But most people could never really understand why I'm so like slow to anger, or I usually don't react. Sometimes I don't even respond. I just don't respond to a lot of things. I'm a bit more on the emotional regulating side, because when I started fasting, like I said, I started seeing life, the people in it, and the experiences I go through very, very different than someone who is addicted. Okay, so it's just something you would never have or experience unless you fast. This is why the topic is fasting is the only way. Fasting is the only way. I don't care what nobody say. I don't care. I cannot be misled or brainwashed into thinking that there is another way to the ultimate form of healing. I just can't. So I want you to experience it for yourself and see how much it sets you free. All right. So that's why I'm here. So we know what food addiction is. We know why we're addicted. We know the cycles of addiction and how brains are actually controlled by the chemical and drugs in the food. Why does this matter? Why did I feel like this, out of all things, was the most important component of fasting you need to understand? Okay. It's because understanding this removes shame. It removes shame. You aren't weak. You aren't weak, you guys. I'm going to be honest with you. So I don't want you even to put a lot of pressure on yourself when it comes to this food game, all right? You're not weak. You're stuck in a biochemical loop, and the only thing that can get you out of it is your quality of emotions, which helps fuel your awareness and your decision making, all right? So the knowledge, understanding the power of shame and understanding you are not weak gives you a lot of power. All right. So this knowledge empowers you to see food addiction as a real thing. All right. You know how like when somebody is like an alcoholic and they got to go to, rehab, they got to go to their weekly meetings. They have to start off by saying, "Hi, I'm Jane and I'm an alcoholic." They have to admit that they are an addict in order to change their behavior and change the way they view and see certain things. Okay. So it also empowers you to recognize your triggers. All right. You guys are out of control. So my main purpose of doing this right now is to help you gain better control over your life and over your decision making. Okay. So using a tool like fasting, mindfulness, and emotional healing helps you regain control. It's all connected. Okay. So it's really important to know that your emotions determine your quality of life. So if you want your life to be better, if you want your life to be less stressful, you have to improve how you experience your emotions. There is no other way. There is no other way. Your emotions determine your quality of life. Your quality of your emotions determine your quality of life. Okay. So our emotional blocks and stress is the unseen force behind our relationship with food. Okay. So our relationship with food is often deeply tied to our emotional state. When we don't know how to deal with stress or difficult emotions, food can become a soothing balm, like we discussed. But the problem is food never really truly addresses the root cause. It's a temporary distraction from a deeper emotional block. These unresolved feelings pile up over time and manifest as food cravings and emotional eating. All right. You guys are following me? Okay, so let me check in on my my group here. Okay. Preach sad as I'll get out. Yep. Okay. All right. So this is how fasting breaks the cycle. All right. It gives you a physical reset. Fasting allows the digestive system to rest, reducing the habitual overconsumption and resetting insulin levels. Now understand that insulin is the most important thing to know about when it comes to eating properly. We are not educated enough. We have no idea what we're doing. We're just putting stuff in our mouth. We're just putting stuff in our mouth, and we have no idea what is happening. All right. It's an entirely different topic, but it hugely contributes to the high sickness rates in America and the obesity that's causing sickness in America. Again, like we talked about earlier, 70% of America is sick. 70%. Why do you think that is? If we are not sick, America doesn't make money. So America profits off you being ill. Okay? In my program, when breaking the fast, we go on, we learn about that. So if you are part of my program, you're going to learn about how to like properly break a fast, because you can actually extend the benefits of fasting if you break it properly, and you can actually undo everything that you did. Everything that you did if you break it improperly. So it's very important how you break a fast. Okay. But anywho, the second way fasting breaks the cycle. So the first way was physical reset. The second way to break a cycle is it helps you with your emotional awareness. All right. So without food to distract us, fasting brings clarity to our emotions. This gives us the chance to confront emotional triggers and develop healthier coping mechanism. It really, one of the great things that empowered me with fasting and everybody that I've helped is that it emotionally detached me from food. Like food no longer was my master. Food was not my master anymore. Okay. That's one of the most empowering benefits of fasting. I'm emotionally detached from you. So I choose what I do. You don't choose for me. Okay. So then the third thing is like the mental shift. So fasting teaches us discipline and patience, breaking the cycle of instant gratification and allowing us to regain control over our choices. All right. So now let's briefly talk about the science and the benefits of fasting. So we have the three main areas: your brain, your body, your spirit, or your life. Okay. So as we go through this briefly, let me know which one is your main focus. All right. I want to know if you hear like, I oftentimes, like when I'm coaching, if I'm guiding or I'm leading some type of way, I know a lot of us, we just like to sit and watch, right? It's something we're attracted to. There's something that we're aligning with. There's something that's calling our name. But for some reason, we don't have the courage to speak up, speak life into it, right? So when I ask you, okay, which one of these, because you're here for a reason, okay? You're here because something about fasting is drawing you to it, all right? Or you're here because of what you're learning in this information session that I'm doing here on Zoom. I'm just inviting you guys from Instagram on to kind of see what this is about, just in case you're interested in the future. If I ask, okay, what is it that you're wanting? I need you to speak it. I need you to write it. I need you to put it out there. right? Because if you hold it in, nothing happens. And if you do nothing, end of the day, nothing will be all that you have, okay? So I just wanted to say that while I'm asking you this question, okay? So I know a lot of you will probably say all of them, all right? And it's easy to say, I want everything, I want it all. But it's a specific reason why I'm asking you what's your main focus, all right? It doesn't mean that fasting will not help you with all of them. I need you to know your dire focus, because you need to know what is your driving force behind your fast, because you will need it. You will need the mental reinforcement to stick with it if you decide to do it. All right. Never, ever, ever jump into a fast and don't know why you're fasting. Okay. So the three main areas in which fasting, you get benefits: your brain, your body, and your spirit, or / your life. Okay. So with the brain, it gives you a sharper focus, mental clarity, mood stability, pineal gland decalcification. And pineal gland decalcification also ties into your spirit. And I may talk about that in a little bit. That's some ancient wisdom. I don't know if y'all ready for ancient wisdom. I'm a student of ancient wisdom. Okay. There's a lot that I know that a lot of people don't know. Okay. So I may talk about that. We'll see. But, with the body, it helps with natural weight balance, reduce inflammation, digestive reset, hormonal reset, cellular repair. Now, we know daggone well, especially as Black women, we having a whole bunch of hormonal issues, all right? And like I said earlier, there's three main obstructions in your body that cause severe illness and disease and sickness: inflammation, hormones, or digestive issue. And fasting helps with all of them, okay? So in your spirit or your life, it helps with emotional release, more energy, deeper connection, and purpose. All right. So most of us have no idea why we are here. Fasting helped me connect. When I mean here on earth. That's what I mean. I ain't talking about right here. I'm talking about most of us don't understand why we're here on earth. Okay. Fasting helped me connect with my soul and my soul assignment. I know why I'm here. I know why I'm here, what I'm here to do, and what I had to experience in order to be here. I understand why I had to go through everything that I had to go through. Okay, that's a level of enlightenment I really want to get all of you guys to that are here with me right now. So when I said what is my why, I really want to help end suffering, because we're gonna have pain in life, right? So pain, let's talk about this really quick. The difference between pain and suffering, okay? Pain is when the reality of the world is not matching up with your model of the world in your head. So things aren't going your way. Things aren't going the way that you think they should go. That's normal, okay? Most of us have problems because we think that we shouldn't have problems, when problems are vessels to help us propel and get to where we ultimately supposed to be, right? There's a difference with suffering. Suffering is when the reality of the world is not matching up with your model of the world, right? But you feel powerless to change it. You feel helpless, hopeless, powerless to change it. So when I say I want to help end suffering, I want to, and fasting is that one thing that if we just focus on that one thing, it's going to help everything else, okay? I want to help give you your power back, because a lot of it is lost, and we know it's lost from food addiction. Okay. And we already talked about that earlier. So if you're just joining us, you want to go back and watch this live. Okay. So it's two very important benefits I want you to remember that also plays a major role when it comes to fasting. This is more, like I said, on a deeper level. And I contemplated if I wanted to even share this, because it's ancient wisdom, and I'm a student of ancient wisdom. And I also thought about the time also, because I don't want to hold y'all for very long. We kind of approaching the end here. It's a little bit more, so you want to stick around. But I'm going to share at least one of them, because it gives you a deeper meaning to your why when it comes to fasting. So epigenetics. So the two things are epigenetics, which it deals with your brain and your body, and then your pineal gland, like I talked about earlier, which deals with the spiritual aspects and also your brain. All right. So when we talk about epigenetics, does anybody know what epigenetics is? Do you know what epigenetics is? Have you heard of it? Do you have any clue what epigenetics is? I'm mentally congested and menopause. Okay. Spirit. Okay. So epigenetics refers to the modification that turns your genes on and off, affecting how cells read and use genetic information. So in other words, they are genes that you inherit from your family before you. The impact on health is that epigenetics plays a role in development, aging, and disease like cancer, mental health disorders, and metabolic conditions. So yes, you can absolutely pass down trash cells to your kids from your decisions that you make with food. And yes, you inherited trash cells from your parents. But it doesn't determine your life. Okay, your lifestyle does. So I always say, okay, you can put that gun up to your head, but listen, if you never pull the trigger, it don't matter. You still here. You still got another chance, right? So I want to share with you something very, very interesting with you guys real quick. There was this rat study, and it was pertaining to epigenetics. There's this rat study, right? And it was done at Columbia University by a neuroscientist named Dr. Brian Diaz. It was published in 2018, so you can go check yourself. Now, this is some interesting shit, okay? So they took one female rat, right? And they put cherry blossoms around the female so that she can absorb the aroma, right? And then they lightly shocked the rat. So it wasn't like an aggressive, they weren't doing it to kill the rat or anything like that, but they wanted to get a trauma response out of it, right? So they shocked it while it was absorbing the aroma of this cherry blossom. Get this. This is why epigenetics is very important, because a lot of us are walking around don't have a clue what it is, and you should. Okay. That rat gave birth to kids. Her kids gave birth to kids. Her kids gave birth to kids all the way down to 14th descendant. Okay. Follow me here. Follow me. That 14th, every one of those kids, generations that came from that one rat that got not electrocuted, but shocked while inhaling the aroma of the cherry blossom, had a fear trauma response to the smell, to the cherry blossom smell. So in other words, when that first rat had a child, they put that child in an area of the aroma of cherry blossom. They did not shock that rat. They did not shock that rat. And that rat rejected that smell. It was terrified of the smell. Why would that rat be terrified of the smell? Because the mother was terrified of the smell. Not just the mother, the original rat that they shocked with the smell of the aroma cherry blossom. Not just her child, but her grandchildren, her great-grandchildren, her great-great-grandchildren, her great-great-great-great, all the way down to the 14th. After the 14th, that's when they no longer had the fear associated with that smell. It took 14 generations to break a trauma response. I don't know if that sat well with you all or not. I don't know if that went over your head, or if you really, if you really got the grift that I'm putting out right here. Your body is affected by your great grandmother and the decisions that she made with food. But let me tell you this. When it comes to epigenetics, and this is the reason why, I didn't even want to get into this either, but African American or black melanin people are more, really the most unhealthiest species out of the human race. I hate to say it, but it's a fact. It's because during the slave time, we were deprived of food, right? So that's why, so we have the emotional trauma of food being limited from great grandmother or grandfather. You know what I'm saying? That's how epigenetics works. Even to throw this out here, a lot of African American black people are scared of water, but scared of water They ain't even thinking about swimming. It's because your great grandmother, saw hundreds of thousands, if not millions, people losing their life on the slave ships. I really wanted to tie in something that would like really resonate so that y'all understand epigenetics and how it works. So you're not just fighting the bull crap from your life. You're fighting a bunch of other things in yourself from 14 generations up. Even if it was 10 generations up, even if, okay, some people may say, okay, rats are not humans, but rats are the closest thing. They do a lot of study on rats to determine how humans will handle certain things. Even if it wasn't 14 generations, even if it was 10, even if it was 5, even if it was 3, that's a problem. That's a problem. And guess what? You can't control it. You can't control what happened in the past, but you can control what happens in the future. So I noticed a difference. I have a 20-year-old and I have a 16-year-old and then I have a 4-year-old. And in between that time is when I became, between my first 2 kids and my 3rd child, that's when I became a master at fasting. My daughter is 4 years old. She just had her first fever and it was COVID. And I actually know why. I know why. She just had her very first fever at 4 years old. Never been sick. I see that in my first 2 children were hospitalized, RSV, had to have surgery, gut issue, regurgitating all kind of food and milk and all kind of stuff. Okay. So epigenetics is not a game, okay? So I don't have much time to get into like the pineal gland. That was one area, epigenetics, right? The pineal gland was another thing. I don't have much time to get into it, but no, you have a small peanut-sized gland in the back of your head, and although it's very tiny, it's very, very powerful when it comes to your spirit. And most of our pineal glands are calcified, meaning they are blocked. They are blocked. So if you join my program, like you'll know about this, because I'm a huge believer in the only way you can be empowered is if you understand your temple and how your body works. Okay, so a lot of us can't connect spiritually because the pineal gland is blocked, it's calcified from heavy metals, from artificial additives and preservatives, from processed foods and sugar, from pesticides. Fluoride all in the water. Fluoride is in your toothpaste, is in a bunch of things. It's decalcifying your pineal gland. That's why you feel like you can't connect. Fasting, I'm gonna tell you right now, on each one, I told y'all I probably fast by over 20 times in the last 10 years. There has not been one time where I have not just elevated on a spiritual level. And I'm talking about, you wouldn't even understand it. You wouldn't even understand it. Okay? Like every fast that I've done, especially like on that 3rd, 4th day, downloads. Anything I wanted to know, download. Anything I was curious about, download. Anything I was struggling with, gone. Like that's just how it works. That's the power of fasting that people don't want you to really know. They don't want you to know it. I'll be shocked if they keep this live up because I know how they be filtering through things. They're like, oh, you trying to give people power? No, not today. Not on our platform. Okay. So, we'll talk more about this, like I said, in my program, if you decide, to join. So let's get off into that, now. So like the types of fasts, right? So my Fasting for Freedom program is going to integrate 3 different types of fasts. It's going to be intermittent fasting, a 24-hour fast, and an extended fast of like 3 days. Okay. 3 days it really kind of depends. And that's what's kind of exciting about my first pilot group here, because, you guys are going to get a lot more than, everybody's going to get value, right? But this is my pilot group. I've helped individuals fast. I've been doing it for a very long time. But this is a very special program that I put together. And I only put it together because y'all asked me to. No, I did have a vision. I did have a vision of this. I'm not going to lie. I did have a vision of this, but it's amazing how synchronicities work, because I had like 12 people literally ask me, okay, how much would it be if you were to be my accountability partner? Because I understand the challenges and the fears that people face when it comes to fasting. So intermittent fasting, 24-hour fast, and extended fast with an option to extend like 5 days, or possibly even 7 based on like the reports and your feelings that you report. Okay, so this isn't about pushing the body recklessly. All right, it's about choosing the level that fits your need. So can you see this graph here, you guys? I'm sure you guys can see this graph here. I know you guys can't see it. Next time you see me talk about fast, as a matter of fact, you want to comment fast right now so you can get all of the information when it comes to this in the future, because right now y'all should really be putting your eyes on what I'm showing everybody here on the Zoom. But okay, so it's broken down into focus on what you would like to achieve from your fasting according to the timing. All right, so if your goal is to improve your gut function, then you have to go at least 24 hours without eating. If you want to improve your gut function, so if you have a digestive issue, if you have issues with your gut, and your gut is your second brain. Your gut is your second brain. Your gut tell your brain what to do, right? So if you feel like you have an issue with gut, 24, if you tell me I have a gut issue, my digestive system is the number one reason why I do this, I'm going to say, then we at least have to go 24 hours, and I'm going to make sure that you get through it. Okay. If your goal is to reduce inflammation and pain in your body, you want to go at least 13 to 15 hours. That's when the inflammation starts to dilute, right? Now, obviously, this is the onset of these benefits. If you go longer, you're going to have bigger benefit, right? Yes, you drink water. Absolutely. I would never recommend I only feel like people who are highly experienced in fasting should do dry fasting. So I've done in all my experience in 10 years, I've done 1 7-day dry fast. No water, no food, no anything. And I'm almost hesitant to talk about it because it's an amazing experience, but I don't necessarily want to guide you to try that if you've never experienced a fast before. And there's things that you need to do to lead up to that, okay? So if you got pain in your back, pain in your knee, if you got any type of pain, come on, y'all. Y'all going to the Walgreens and to the pharmacies to get, you taking ibuprofen, y'all. You can get rid of inflammation if you just go 13, 15 hours, 24 hours without eating. You can start to get rid of it. You'll notice, oh, I don't feel that in my knee anymore. Oh, I don't feel that in my back anymore. Or, oh, my neck not hurting. Oh, my head not hurting. Whatever. My foot feeling better. Okay. I'm going to tell you right now, I couldn't have gotten through. I could not have built what I built without fasting. When you on your feet 16-hour days, 16 hours a day, 10, 12, arms up like this the entire time, there was no way that I would have gotten through and built what I've built. And some of you guys know what I've built and some of you guys don't know. I'm not really here to talk about that, but there's no way I would have been able to do what I've done without fasting. And that inflammation part, it gets you every time. So I want to challenge you guys, even if you didn't you should get my fasting guide. So comment fast. Did I put that in here? Yeah, comment fast if you want my guide for free to just kind of help you along a little bit. But if you don't get nothing else, I challenge you that if you're having some type of pain, don't rush to go put ibuprofen in your body. If you join my group, we'll kind of talk about like medicine and like how it affects your body, but it does not help. It puts a Band-Aid on it, but then ends up causing a worse issue. All right. So, if your goal is to burn fat, so some of you guys may have some excessive fat. I know I did. I've given birth to 3 kids, 3 whole kids. Okay. 3. And I had some, and in my last child who's 4, it was I noticed because I had her at 38, I noticed that the weight wasn't falling off as easy. Right. But a lot of us, even, we're talking about aesthetics of fat, but there's a level to fat cells in your body that's not healthy for you either. I know this. So I know that you have fat cells that have disease in them in your body. All right. So if you want to lose fat, 36 hours at least is going to be your number. If your goal is to have a dopamine reset, so if you so we talked about dopamine earlier, it's a happy hormone that comes from a lot of sugar. And sugar is not just sugar from cake, cookies, candy. No, sugar is in all your processed foods that's in the freezer. A lot of the foods that you're getting off shelves, all sugar. All right. Even rice rice turns into sugar. White rice, white bread, white pasta, all sugar. Ultimately turns into sugar. All right. And shoots your insulin level up. And that causes inflammation. All right. So if you want to have a dopamine reset because you feel like, oh, I'm just eating too much sugar. My brain, you know, your body tells you, when something is going on with your brain. You know it. I don't care what y'all say. You know it. You just ignore it because it's hard to pay attention to it. Right? So that's going to be at least 48 hours. So you need to fast at least 2 days to have a dopamine reset, to restore your dopamine back to your body's natural rhythm. That's 48 hours. So if you get my fasting guide, Comment Fast, I have this graph in the guide. Okay. All right. So if you're having some disease or illness issues and you want to improve your immune system, this is where we start getting into 72 hours to 3 days. So if you want a complete immunity fast reset, so I know that in the past I had digestive issues. I completely healed that. But I used to, because I was burnt out, stress, carrying a lot of belief systems that did not serve me, because all of those things play a role in sickness and diseases. Because when that energy gets trapped in your body, you're not releasing your emotions, you're holding things in, and you're just putting band-aids on stuff, and you continue to people please and do all these things. You're unhappy, you're depressed, you got all these things going on. You get sick. All right. And I had a problem with getting sick for quite some time. Before I almost died, if you're just not joining me, I talked about how I almost died back in 2014. That was 2014. I was sick. I was hospitalized even before that. I was hospitalized 3 years before that. The next year, I was hospitalized for 2 weeks, and then boom, I was hospitalized for 3 months. And God was not playing with me. He's like, I got a download that said, if you come back in here, you won't make it out. This is why I don't play about my life. And this is why I'm not playing about your life. Okay. So at least that if you're trying to have a complete immunity fast reset, peak autophagy, immune stem cells change your whole DNA. That's why I feel like my daughter didn't have any health issues as opposed to my sons, my 20-year-old, 16-year-old son, as opposed to my 4-year-old daughter. Fasting for 3 days. And before she came, I fasted 5 days, 3 days. My 7-day dry fast was after her, but I did 7-day water fast before I had her. That changed my whole DNA. And I told you guys earlier, my daughter she's only had one fever in her whole life, and she's 4. And she just had that COVID. We're in Bali, Indonesia. There's an international school. Everybody comes from everywhere. We got COVID. All right. So anything after 3 days starts to compound after that, right? So, and it achieves a great deal of healing. So it doesn't have to be, I never want anybody to feel pressure. You have to determine what it is that you want for your life. Do you need to, do you have pain in your body? You want to be, you having gut issues, you want to, think better, you want to lose weight, you want to improve your immunity. Like, you have to know what it is that you want. And I help you navigate how long your fast will be during the program. Okay. So this is how the program works. So it's a 7-day container. So I'll be spending 7 whole days with my first pilot group here. Now, whether or not they'll change in the future, I don't know. Everything is going to be determined by my first group. Okay, so it's a 7-day container. All right, you're going to choose your fasting level based on I'm going to help you. You're the guide. All right. I'm just helping you navigate, right? So you're going to choose your fasting level, which one you want to try, and you're not locked into it. You may start off with intermittent fasting, and you may say, I think I can go 24 hours. 24 hours, I feel good. I may go 3 days. Oh, I went 3 days. I think I could go another, you know what I mean? So you're not locked into anything, but we are, before we get started, are going to know what the goal is. Okay. We're going to have live meetings. We're going to have one in the beginning. We're going to have one in the middle. We're going to have one at the end. All the other communication is going to be daily guidance and communication through Telegram. So check-ins, prompts, motivation. I'll have some voiceovers. We'll have breath work. We'll have journal for emotional clarity, because I'm using fast food as a vessel to help you have a breakthrough, like a whole breakthrough. All right. And because we talked about how emotions are tied to that, think about it. Somebody and I hope I'm not offending anybody when I do this. Okay. When I say this, but I'm a disruptor, and I know my role here. I'm okay with being a disruptor. All right. If you ask someone that's on crack a question, right, they're probably not going to be able to really answer you. If they go to rehab for 7 days or 3 days or 5 days or whatever case may be, and then they come out, they got a brand new awakening. Now ask them the question. A lot more clarity. There's a really, really big difference in how the brain works and functions when you are not being controlled by the chemicals and the drugs and the food. All right. So I'm using, fasting as a vessel to help you get better clarity, more downloads, and to pull out something that is causing you to be blocked and stuck. All right. So we're going to be doing like heart rate tracking. We're going to be checking ketone levels. So this is for like safety and awareness. So I'm going to teach you how to check your heart rate in the program. So I'll be sending, you guys can see, so you can see this. So this will be something that I'll be sending out in the Telegram like daily during that time. So it's going to be heart rate. So you'll put what your heart rate is, your energy level. There's going to be a journal reflection. So there'll be a journal prompt or question. And I'm going to expect you to answer it. Hydration, like how much water did you drink that day, right? And then there's going to be some breath work guided voice messages. And we may even I may even teach you, I think I am on one of those meetings going to have to teach you how to do a certain level of breath work, like down regulating breath work to kind of calm everything down. Because when you're on your fast, your body is working really, really hard. So a lot of people ask, can I really work out during the fast? No, you don't have to work out during your fast, because your body is working so hard to remove all the toxins and the mucus out of your body, right? So you don't have to do that. So I'm going to teach you how to do a diaphragmatic, like down-regulated breath work, because it really helps calm everything. You're going to need it. Okay? It's been a lifesaver on my journey of fasting. All right? So I'm going to teach you guys that so you will not have to worry about that. All right? But I am going to expect, and I'm going to be on you guys. All right? Like, it's not a game. This is the first one. And I'm expecting, if you're here for a reason. You want to go from point A to point B, or point A to point Z, and I'm the vessel to help you get there. And I have a standard. I don't sleep on anything. I'm very assertive, and we're gonna get it. We're gonna get it done. All right. So if you want change, if you don't want change, you're not in the right place. All right. So I'm just gonna throw that out there. Disclaimer out there. If you want change, if you don't want change, you are not in the right place. If you want change, this meeting is divine. Okay. All right, so I'll be guiding you into the fast and how to break it safely. This is very important. I know some people who have fasted and told me they broke fast with pasta. And when I say that is I can't even explain to you how dangerous that is to break a fast with high insulin foods. It's extremely, extremely dangerous, and I would never want to guide you guys through I wouldn't want you to go through something like that. Okay, so we're going to talk about how to properly prepare for the fast, and then I'm going to navigate you while you're fasting to get the most out of it, and then how to break it. Because honestly, there's been times when I've done a fast, and the way that I break it still felt like my body was in the fast. So you don't even have to feel pressure to do like a 5-day or 7-day. Like if you did a 3-day and then you broke the fast properly, you're going to end up going 5 days anyway. All right. So you're not doing this alone. You'll have structure, check-ins, motivation, and accountability. All right. So I wanted to definitely, dang, Judy, you got disconnected? Okay. So I wanted to share with you all really quick, like my transformation. I know you guys on Zoom, you can't see it, but so I have a picture here of, how the difference energetically and physically. So you can see that there was a point in time, like like if I smile, like you can tell like a really happy smile, like a real genuine smile, if your entire face is kind of like smiling. So there were pictures that I would have where I'm just kind of like smiling with like my mouth, and you could tell I'm exhausted. You could tell I'm drained. I'm even looking at myself. I could tell what's going on in my body with toxins or mucus or this or that or whatever. And then there's a picture where the smile just looks completely different. You can even tell from my face structure. You can tell from my body that I'm not carrying any type of information in my body. So, and then physically, clearly, like we don't even have to talk about that. Like I was really surprised that I found both these angles. But I told you after I had my daughter, it was a little harder to get rid of. And this was like a year. So I had carried like a lot of, like I was like, I don't even want to say, but I was kind of like 200 pounds. I was 200 pounds, which is to be expected when you have a child, right? I mean, I always say don't put a whole lot of pressure on yourself, but you have to be accountable about how you eating, moving your body. Like, don't just sit around and let that sit on you. That does not belong on you. I never wanted to keep my like baby weight on me. And so I was very aware of that with my 3 kids. Nobody, like people like 3 kids. And yeah, I don't play those type of games with my body. Right. But I did realize that after my daughter, that it was like harder. Right. And I was like, okay, I have to step it up I immediately think fasting because it emotionally detaches me from food. It's the one thing that if I do that one thing, it just really helps everything else. Right. When you're thinking about simplifying your life and making your life easier, but having a bigger effect and result, fasting is the only way. It's just the only way. Yes, you can change your eating habits, but it's very rare that people can stick to that system. Right. I feel like with fasting, when you learn or master fasting and you incorporate it into your life as a lifestyle, even if you fall off, because you're going to fall off, even if you fall off, your body, you connect with your body in a way like you never have before. Your body holds you accountable. Your body before, you couldn't really hear the communication from your body before, but after you do like a fast, and it's intentional and you are aware of what's happening, your body connects in a way like never before. Like, so you may fall off, but when you do, your body gonna say, hey, hold on now, wait a second. You know what I mean? And real fast too, real fast. So eventually you kind of know how to center yourself back. And I think that's just a beautiful form of empowering. And that's ultimately like what I'm trying to help you guys do. Okay. So we're wrapping up here, but what I want you to do is, because I feel like a lot of us say that we want something, but we just say it. But in order to like really manifest something, now we're manifesting all the time. Like we are all master manifestors. You're either manifesting what you want or you manifesting what you don't want. All right. But in order to manifest what you want, that's usually a lot harder, right? Because we think it only just comes with thinking positive. Oh, we can just think it and it's going to happen, right? But no, that's not how that works, right? You have to think it, you have to feel it, and you have to take aligned action. They all have to work together. If anyone is off, you're going to feel blocked, all right? So a lot of the things that practices that I like to get you guys to do is to like imagine what would it be like to have clarity? What would it be like to have the vitality, the energy that you want? What would it feel like for you to make better decisions? And you may even you may even want to close your eyes with this. Like take a real big deep breath. Like what does that look like for you? What would it look like to get all of that fat that's causing, inflammation and pain in your body off of you? What would it look like to connect spiritually better, to hear your guidance, to get those downloads, to not feel like you're emotionally unregulated? How would that feel? What does that work to you? So, that's what I would encourage you. Like, how much does that really matter to you? Okay. So let me go ahead and we're about to answer some questions. I'm going to invite you guys to my pilot fasting for freedom group program. And then we're going to get to some questions. Okay. So remember I told you guys that I have helped 22 people successfully get through this fasting program, and I want to help 22 million more because 70% of America is sick. And one of my assignments is to really help end suffering. And I think that food is like the one thing that if you focus on that one thing, it helps everything else, right? So this is just the beginning. It's all starting with you guys that are on the Zoom. I know Instagram, I kind of let you guys into the information session because I wanted you to get the information too, just in case it's something that you want to pursue in the future. And so actually right now I'm about to disconnect with you guys because I have to really pay attention and kind of get into the questions and stuff on the Zoom and kind of talk about the program. But make sure you comment fast here or on any of my posts. And I'll send you the guide. At least you will have the free guide. You can message me any questions, and I'll see if I can get back with you with that. Okay, so thank you guys so much for joining in. And if you're just joining in, go back and watch the replay.